All right, y'all. We're here with Alicia. We're catching up with
Ali-
Coach. Thanks for coming on. How you say it?
Ali- Alicia.
Alicia? Okay. We're here with Alicia. Thanks for coming on. We're catching up with Coach. Our first question was going to be let's talk about your educational background.
Okay. Anything in particular you want to know, or just
No, just what it took to get to that point, persevering, maybe pitfalls that you may have ran into, and how you overcame everything.
All right. So, well, currently, right now, I'm in a doctoral program.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm halfway through. Um, I have two master's degree.
Wow.
One from Rutgers and one from Montclair. And I went to Rowan for my bachelor's. So after I went to Rowan, well, I started off at Cumberland County College. So after I went to Rowan and got my bachelor's, I went to Rutgers for social work, and then
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to get like some certifications under my belt, just
Uh-huh.
make me more marketable. So I ended up taking a few classes at Montclair, and it was like 5 or 6 classes. And then I realized if I took another 5, I have a whole nother degree. So I never
Wow.
got a certification. I just ended up getting a whole nother degree because I was like, what's the point,
Exactly.
and I'd be more marketable than just getting a certificate. So that's how I ended up with 2 masters. Um, Throughout that journey, from, like I said, from Cumberland County, my associates, all the way to both my masters, I did come across a few obstacles. In Rowan, I got pregnant with my son. He's 12 now. I also had a miscarriage. I miscarried with twins before him. I was like 4 months. So that was a big ordeal for me. I felt empty. I just
Mhm.
felt depressed. Um, but I still kept going. So I got pregnant a few months later with my son, still trying to obtain my bachelor's at Rowan. Got pregnant
Mhm.
with my son because, I wanted to fill that empty void, the empty space that, I lost.
Yep.
Um, Went through school, pregnant, big, wobbling, everything. Um, uh, I had him in December of 2007,
Mhm.
and that was finals week.
Wow.
And so I had him, a C-section, came home 3 days later, went to school and took my finals. Everybody was looking at me like, you're crazy. Like, you can get sick, this and that. But in my mind, I'm like, came this far, I got to get it done. So I just remember
Exactly.
going to school, wrapping my body up in like 3 layers of clothes. And, it's wintertime. My family and
Mhm.
everybody's like, what are you doing? But, once I have my mindset on something, I just keep, going. So took my finals, did well. I got my, like I said, bachelor's in, when did I get my bachelor's? 2008. 8 or 9, I can't remember. But so after that, I went to Rutgers because I knew I wanted to go further,
Mhm.
and I got pregnant with my daughter, and it was the same, same thing. I was like, oh, I did it before, so and both pregnancy wasn't intentional, but I didn't let it stop me either way. So, I did it before, so I did it with her again. With the support of my mother and my stepdad and family in general,
Mhm.
probably none of that would have been possible because they just supported me 1,000%, and they still do to this day. Like right now, every morning, my kids go to my mother. She does the in-home schooling.
Nice.
Um, yeah, while I'm at work, they get them off the bus, they feed them, they do homework. So like they help, they help 1,000%. So um, so nothing else could stop me. If my kids are good, then that's all I need.
Yep.
So that's how I was able to, just go through and, seek my degrees and, obtain them. Um, right now, like I said, I'm in a doctoral program at Ashford University. It's based out of San Diego. It's online. Um, it's kind of tedious, but it's not hard. Like I said, I'm halfway through that. And, the reason why I took it this far was just because, number one, I had children. So, I
Mhm.
like to lead by example. Sometimes they look at me, Mom, you're too old. While you're in school, you're too old for school. No, I'm like, you're never too old. Keep going, because people have that, you know, what I mean, that belief that, oh, you're too old. Like, no. Um, After my doctorates, I think I'm pretty much done. There's nowhere else I could go. So I feel like, I reached that, you know, cap where like, okay, now I got to do something else. So,
Exactly.
um, yeah, so I just always had that motivation to keep just going. And I come from a Jamaican family. So that's, someone asked me the other day, like, what motivates me so much? Like, what keeps me going? Or how did I become so motivated? And I'm like, well, my family, because like I said, my family, they're from Jamaica, and a lot of them, my grandma had 8 children, and majority of them have sixth grade, seventh grade education. In
Wow.
Jamaica, education isn't free, so you got to pay for it, and living is hard. So sometimes the kids, or at a certain age, you got to work. It's like forget education. We got to work to live. So yeah, the majority didn't have much of education. My mother did. My mother was the seventh of the eight. So when they came up here, she was already like in like 10th grade. So she just made it like, to, finish off and, whatnot. So she instilled education like in all of us as much as she could, because she kind of knew the difference. She was able to see what it was like in Jamaica, and then come here and see like, dang, everything is free. Like you got everything handed to you almost, opportunity is endless. So she enforced it, and she enforced like not just education, but just getting good grades, like, trying to get scholarship, just trying to do the best you can. Like, if I came home with a C, it was like, you know. Um,
Exactly.
and I'm her only child. So like, I was super, super, super spoiled. But when it came to like education, if I didn't do what, like, I just knew like, oh, Friday I wasn't getting anything or going anywhere. So I knew I had to
That's right.
like, bring home those C's and B's. Whereas like, my aunties and uncle that didn't have the education, they enforced education because they knew the importance overall, because of the jobs they had to, take when they got here, and they couldn't really, get the jobs they wanted. They had to get the jobs that, they can just get with
Wow.
little or no education. But, so they enforced it on a whole different level, of not being able, to have that experience of the education, because they was already too old, to go to school. They got their GED eventually, but you know, to them, like, if I, like I said, if I brought home a C, and my mom saw that, it was like, But like my auntie and them, if I brought home a D, it was like, D, did you pass? Yes. And that was it.
Yeah.
So, but because they didn't know the value of these letters, they just knew, wait, did you pass? Like, yep, that's all you're worried about. So, I had that, like I said, them pushing me in that balance, on both ends. So yeah, so now like I do the same with my kids. My mother pushed uh, education on them. She loves the fact that they're homeschooled now. Like she just believes in this one-on-one. She doesn't believe in this whole, one teacher, 30 kids in a classroom. Because she's
Yeah.
like, how could you learn like that? Everybody learning at a different pace, So
Yep.
she actually like loves this homeschooling stuff. Like she feels like, she told me the other day, she's like, when these kids are done, I'm gonna make them into geniuses. Like,
Yeah.
because she gives them that one-on-one time, and like I said, so hopefully they follow my lead like I followed my mother, and they just reach for the stars, as far as like when it comes to education. And not that they have to, I prefer that they do, but if they have like a different career that they want to pursue, say they wanted to be an electrician or something, go for it, just,
Exactly.
yeah, do something. But at the end of the day, you still need some type of education, to do those things. Yeah, you gotta, yeah. Um, so yeah, that's that for the educational part.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome stuff. So with it being in the day and time that we're living in, you know, uh, you know how a lot of people look at us black men, with the situation down there in Georgia and other situations that continually happen. From your point of view as a black educated woman, what is your viewpoint of black men as you see it
In general,
in general?
I mean, I love my black men. Like, I'm pro-black, but I just feel like, black men are just lazy and complacent. A lot of them.
Hmm.
Uh, I hang around and I'm friends with a lot of, educated and intelligent, articulate black men. But,
Hmm.
I also, am friends with like men that like, one of my closest friend, I'm like, I told him the other day, I'm like, you're so lazy. Like you just want to take you just want to take the easy road out. Why? And the things you've done, you've got in trouble before over and over. Like, I'm like, hey, we're 35, 36 now. Like it's time to like, you know, wisen up. Like what you're doing is not working. And you see everybody else around you, what we're doing is working. You
That's right.
know, and, um, they're just I don't know what it is. I don't know how to describe it. I don't know if it's just still that enslaved mentality.
Hmm.
But yeah, like they're just complacent. That in their mind they want this and that. They want they want to grow, but they're not doing what it takes to grow. Like nothing is easy. They want like the easy road, and um, it's not gonna cut it. It's not. I mean, you might get lucky and have a break, but then again, you might not. I was telling my friend, the same friend the other day, I was like, um, I'm very successful and I'm actually starting a business now, which I'm hoping to launch next month. And I told him, I said, I'm going to have to like just bring you on, and make, get you off the streets and just, invest in you. What do you want to do? I'll invest in you. And then you do it because, he's so used to making this amount of money, to go down to 14 hours an hour is like, what I mean? Kind of like an insult to him, you know.
Hmm.
But I'm like, you have to change that mentality, like, else you're gonna, still be where you're at.
Exactly.
So, yeah, it's a lot of them are lazy and just have no motivation. And I don't like to bash, like I said, or emasculate, my people because I don't. I try to encourage, each one, anyone that I have random people that inbox me and be like, oh my God, you motivate me. How do you do this and that? And I'm like, well, first you have to be self motivated too. I'm already a
That's
self motivated person because it was instilled in me.
yeah.
Um, I get that. I'm very blessed for the family that I came from. That
Hmm.
was able to instill it. And now men that are in their 30s, 40s, it's kind of hard to instill it now. It's
Exactly.
like it's like what was the what was it? Frederick Douglass. He says it's easier to build up strong children than to fix broken men.
Been broken
So
men. Yep.
yeah, so it's um, at this age it's kind of hard. It's hard. They don't want to be told what to do.
Yeah.
Um, they want you to like coddle them and baby them, and I'm like, nah. I'm like really cutthroat with it. Like you want to hear it, you want to hear the truth or not. And sometimes they get offended, or if I try to encourage them, they'll feel like I'm kind of downing them or thinking I'm up here and there. No, like I'm trying to bring you here, you know.
Exactly.
Um, I just feel like information is free. I'm going to give you the information, just run with it. Like I feel like
That's right.
information is free. Some people, there's a lot of black people that like that's another thing too. Another black people, they're like crabs in the barrel. They don't want, there's money out here for everybody, so they will
Yeah.
not help you. See, they won't. Like my business that I just started up. I have my friend. We went to school together. She lives in Virginia, and she's been doing her online business for 3 years, and she just made a mill last year. So of course I'm like, help me do mine. So she walked me through step by step. When I mean step by step, like she gave me step 1, 2, 3, 4, and then she stopped and she was like, when you're done those steps, contact me, because then we're
Wow.
gonna move. Like she's like, I'm not gonna give you step 1 through 15, and what you're gonna get confused. You're not, like just I don't want to waste my time doing that. I just want you to, follow. And then plus, like, that's another business that she's developing now. Training people how to start their own business because she did it herself and she had no one over her shoulders. She had to research. She took a lot of losses. She did a lot of dumb stuff, but she had to learn on her own. And she said to me,
Mm.
she was like, um, I don't want you to go through what I went through, or I want you to learn from my mistakes. So she taught me everything she did wrong and everything she did right. So that way I have a clear understanding of why she was wrong. So I won't make those mistakes. And then
Exactly.
the things she did right, how. So it's like, like I said, that's my homegirl. I mean? We build each other up. So, she took that time out and she still does take the time out. She check in on me. Hey, how's it going? Where are you at with it? She's very busy, but she'll still reach out at least once a week hey, where you're at, trying to push me. Some days I'm like, oh, I haven't even, touched the business yet. I'm tired. She's like, get up, you need to, do this and that. So she motivates, and I feel like that's what our community lacks. Like people motivate each other, sharing ideas. Everybody just want to be secretive and keep it to themselves. And um, I seen this 2 weeks ago. Someone had posted on Facebook. I forgot who it was. It's probably somebody I don't really know, but they posted how they received their SBA loans. It was like, hey, these loans are real. Like I signed up for it like a few weeks ago, and it just dropped today. So I'm just letting everybody know, go ahead and do it. Like it's real. Somebody came on there was like, nah, bro, don't tell them nothing. Let them fight out for their own. Like, shoot, like, and I'm like, so everybody's on him. Like, what is wrong with you? You still got that slave mentality. Like, this is how they trained you to think, to be divided, so we can't be united. Like, you're
That's
supposed
right.
to help each other. Like, why wouldn't you? And everybody's just going in. And then he inboxed me and was like, man, I'm not a bad person. It's just that I had a hard knock life, and nobody taught me anything and this and that. And I said, okay, that's even more reason why you want to help somebody else, because nobody else did. So you want to bless somebody else. So I said, why
That's
would you
the
want to
truth.
keep that to yourself? Like, and I explained to him, I'm like, for example, I'm starting my own business and my friend took the time out and it's still taking the time out. And then he was like, oh, well, what's the business on? I told him, and he's like, oh man, that's a good idea. Let's collab. I said, hell no. I said, I would never, not with your mentality. I said,
Yeah,
you already gave me, a bad taste. Like, no,
yeah,
I see your mentality. Like, I said, I can't fool people like that. That's not how I operate. Like, you stuck in those ways.
yeah,
No, it's just not like that. And I said, no, you need to change your mentality. I said, first of all, just because you have your own business, I said, God will humble you tomorrow. So,
that's
like,
right.
don't play, don't forget. Like, it's hard to build yourself up, but it's easy to drop.
Yeah, it sure is.
You have millionaires make money and where they at now? You get what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I
That's
say, yeah, get off your high horse, buddy. Like I don't care if you have your own trucking and this and that. Guess what? You can get a bad accident. God forbid, I'm not saying, but I'm just saying, like
yep.
anything can happen. Like you could park it one day and it catch on fire. Like anything, just
Exactly.
whatever. I said, so humble yourself. Like, but that just amazed me. Like, I'm like, yeah, people really think like that. Like, it's like really real. Like our own people. Like,
Yep.
why? And like I said, that's another problem with the black men. Like, you just want their thought process. Like, get out
Mm,
of that. Everybody want to scream, stay woke, but they're the
yep.
same ones that are asleep.
That's
Like,
right.
how do you say stay woke, but then yet you on the streets hustling, bro?
Yeah,
You like, you're not
that's
woke. Because guess
hey,
what? Like, you got to watch over your shoulder, and any day, like, you could be right in the prison, and hey, stay woke in there all you want. Like, but guess what? You're enslaved to them. Like at the end of the day, like I don't know. It's just the mentality. Like, oh man, they just have to get up here right.
that's
Yeah, like I'm a fan of CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's basically the way you think is the way you behave.
that's right.
So yeah, so a lot of people, if they change this, then their actions would be totally different.
Yeah, it
And if
sure
they just
will.
open their if they open themselves up just to learn and um, listen. That's number one. Listen to the part of learning and learning how to
That's key.
communicate. Like I'm telling you, you can talk all day, but if you're not listening, you're not absorbing anything. So um, yeah, I think that's just our issue in a nutshell.
Yep, sure is.
Hmm.
So what do you think in 2020 is the pros and cons of dating? Is it everything that you listed already about just the mindset of men or
Yeah, well, the pros and cons, I speak for myself. I
mhm,
can't speak for and when you ask that question, do you mean like just in general or like well, I answer both. So because when I read the question, I was like the pros and cons, and I was thinking like everybody's so busy nowadays, and social media makes it easy now. You get you download the app and you can meet somebody, and
yep,
I said that's a plus because I've met good people. I was engaged to someone actually, and I still have my ring on, but he passed away in a car accident in 2017 on his way to work.
sorry to hear
And
that.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, like good person, just good person. I'm like, wow, I finally hit the jackpot, and then I'm like, hey, God just snatched this, away. But I also took it as, you know, a humbling moment. I think his life was designed to end at that moment, but I was like his last project. Because I needed a lot of humbling. Like I'm very, very good people, like,
Mhm.
but like I said, relationship wise, I needed a lot of humbling.
Yeah.
Um, I had to learn how to like actually, be in a relationship, like in a grown relationship where somebody proposed and wanted to marry me. Like I was, you know, I was kind of like emotionally unintelligent. Like, I still have my moments, but I'm more aware.
Mhm.
You know, every action I had a reaction.
Yeah.
um, I would go from 0 to 100 because I got so upset at and he kind of he was so patient. He used to be like, calm down, talk, talk, like you can talk, and I'm just like, blah blah, so it kind of like he had a lot of, he taught me a lot, just to have patience and to like, especially when you're seeking marriage and the other person loves you. He used to be like, I'm not your enemy, and things like that, and I don't know why. Maybe I was, fearful of being in a relationship, or or somebody actually taking me so seriously that they want to marry me. That I was kind of pushing them away too because it was like a defense mechanism. I'm not sure. I still don't know, but I think it's like a combination of a few things. But it was also, like I said, the way I handled myself was I did a lot of things inappropriately, and it's because a lot of us like. Black women and black men are raised in single parent households. So you're not, you're not taught how to be a partner. You're not taught how to be a husband, how to be a wife, because you don't
Yeah.
see it. Like, how could you be taught?
Yeah.
They don't have to physically teach you. It's something that you watch. You know what I'm saying? Like
Exactly.
kids learn by watching, watching and looking how your parents operate. And if you have a one parent household, you're not gonna know how to so that was like, one of my issues. But yeah, online dating was actually I'm currently, talking to somebody I actually met offline again, um, and that's okay. But it's little challenges and stuff. But so to answer your question, the pros and cons of dating now is that it's I want to say it's kind of convenient because we have like the social media. You can meet people, even though
Mhm.
you can meet frauds too. But it's hard to meet people nowadays on the street because everybody's just working all day, And then like, especially at our age, like I said, I just turned 36 in April, and I'm like, where am I going to go to meet people? Like we don't go anywhere doing, I'm always on a flight somewhere traveling, yeah. But I mean, just to be around my area or locally and meet somebody, like where I don't really go, I don't party like that, I might go
Mhm.
out here and there, but you know what I'm saying, like as opposed to
Yeah.
your 20s, you're everywhere, you're all over the place, so you were able to, and then I didn't have much responsibility then, so I had the time to meet people, hang out. So, you know, I look at that as one of the pros. Uh, Now the actual dating, the pros, well, I'll say the cons. It's hard, like for me. Well, it was hard to find somebody like on my level because people automatically assume like, oh well, you got two masters, you got doctorates, like you need somebody with doctorates too. And I'm like, no, I don't. Like school is my thing. Like that might not be your thing.
Yeah.
Um, but anybody that I do deal with, they have to have some type of career. Like, I don't down what anybody do. Like, I don't like do what you do. But I
Mhm.
mean, for me per se, like, you kind of gotta like match my fly a little bit, Like, I need to know that I can depend on you. I need to know that, um, you're stable. If I was to get hurt and out of work and no money's coming in, you can like
Mhm.
take over, you know. So you want to feel comfortable, you want to feel like your security. Because anybody,
Exactly.
so basically, yeah, basically, what I give off, I just want to get back. That's it. Like, I just want to reciprocate it. So like, if I'm with somebody, best believe if something happened, I got you 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? I
Exactly.
got you 1,000%. Like, okay, you need this. You're out of work. Okay, you know, what do you need? Like, I got you. Nowadays, like a lot of men can't. Not for me.
Yeah.
And it's not like I think I'm better or anything. Nah, I don't. Cause like I'm very, like I said, I'm very humble. Like um, you know, uh, I want to say like I grew up, like I said, in a household with family and this and that. But um, I could find myself, I find myself acting a bit hood sometimes, and I'm not even from the hood or nothing like that. But you know, that's just my personality. Like I don't, I'm
Yeah.
not no square. Like some people they get uppity because you got this and that. Like I'm not one of the people. Like what I mean. I'll go to school and do what I got to do, and then I'll be at a hole in the wall bar later, partying and having fun. Like so
Yeah.
it's a balance. I like to
Yeah.
have fun. I like to have fun. I'm not gonna stop that, no matter where I'm at in life. I don't care how much money I have. Like I would still like go to the old tavern if it was open. Like what I'm saying? Like that I would like so. Um, but yeah, that's like kind of the cons though. Like just people not finding people on my level, and that's why I see like a lot of black women they're like dating like white men now. I mean, if that, I mean that's their forte. There's nothing wrong with it, but like it's hard to find. What I mean, a successful or just a stable black man. And then when you do find one, um, they're either so cocky because they know that they know it's hard to find a good black man, so they get cocky, or that you're not attracted to them. So it's like one or the other. You'd be like, so it's hard to find that that combination of
Hmm.
because like me, I'll never date somebody just for like what they have. Like I don't
Yeah.
care. Like I've met men that probably can take care of me and don't need my money. I can save my money, but at the end of the day, like I'm not attracted to you. So I'm not even going to like lie. I'm not going to do that. Like, that's just not how I operate. I want to be able to wake up and look and be like, or I want to be able to like, just, be attracted to you. Like, just want you every day,
Exactly.
and for the rest of my life. I don't want to a year from now and be like, ugh, look at this, like, yeah, I'll stay single if that's the case. But so yeah, that's probably the cons, the biggest one. Just not finding someone on that level. And it's funny because like I was telling my friend, I said the roles have changed. Like there's so many men now that want a relationship. They wanted stability, and I don't know. I put a post up the other day, like last week, and I said it's funny how like I don't know if you saw it, but I said it's funny how in the 20s, girls, when you're like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, like we're looking for a relationship then, like,
Mhm.
you want that one man, this and that. You want Prince Charming because, we think of that fairy tale, ending and to be
Yeah.
married by 25 with kids in the house. Like that's what we think about. So we go for that. And then when you don't reach that by like 25 and you go through the, stop, I told you that. Um, when you don't reach that by 25 and a man, or several men put you through the, run you through the mud, this and that, they make women turn a little bit bitter or, cold or heartless, or just put a wall up.
Yeah.
So then from 25 to 30, the woman is finding themselves and they're, they might be out there wild and crazy or just, excuse me, I'm on. So, but then while the women are running wild now because they're like, well, shoot, I'm not giving my heart to another man. Now the men want to
Exactly.
settle down. And I'm like, so
Yep.
I put on Facebook, I'm like, you guys dogged them out in their early ages and in their 20s. And then when you're in your 30s and you're like, when reality hits y'all, because men, y'all going to get tired. You're going to get tired of running through women and you get tired after a while. And now
Yeah.
that you're tired, you're like, huh. Especially now in this quarantine, y'all realizing how it feels to be home alone and nobody, to come home to. Yeah, now
Yeah.
people realize. But now you guys are, making memes and just bashing women about how women don't respect themselves, this and that, blah blah. But you did in the whole 20s, and now the
Exactly.
same women that you did wrong and dirty and changed their mind frame up are the same women you want to be. What? Like you damaged them.
Yep.
So it's like it's just funny to me. Like so that's that's the other pros and cons. Like women and men are not the same page anymore. Like the roles have switched. Like the women, they're men now. They're the
Yeah,
men. The men, they're in the women role now. Oh, I want somebody to come home quick. I want a house, family. So
yeah,
the roles have switched. I mean, but I mean, it's expected too, because it says it in the Book of Revelation, like the signs, the end of times,
yeah.
the roles is going to switch. It's going to be
That's,
confusion. Like, and this is the confusion here now. So all that was written. So I guess, I mean, um, but yeah. So that's all I have for that.
yeah, that's the truth. And
Mhm.
that a lot of what you said lead us right into the next question about, do you think a lot of men get intimidated about, your education and your confidence and, being sure of yourself?
Mhm. Yeah, they do. Whether they say it or not. Some men are just so vocal. They'll say it and admit it, and just be like, "Hey, I am." I remember one time. I think I was like 20. What was I, 25? That's when I realized like I was intimidated. I mean, I intimidated men. I was like, "Oh, do I?" Um, uh, I I met somebody online, and we were supposed to go on a date, and he confirmed and everything. And then even the same day, he was like, "Yeah, I'll pick you up at 7." Never showed up. I called, he didn't answer. Next day, he sent me a text. He was like, I am so sorry. He was like, I just got nervous. Like, you really intimidated me, and I just got nervous and I didn't show up. And I'm like, so you just don't call? He's like, I didn't know how to, I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So at that point, that's when I learned, like, dang, I'm intimidated. Like, and I was only like I said, 25. So I only had like, my bachelor's done.
Hmm.
I wasn't nowhere where I was at now, living in my apartment. And so, like I said, that's when I first learned that I was intimidated. But over the years, people have told me that. Um, and, some men, they'll back off because of that. They know you have some men, yeah, like two different types of men. You have some men that look at it like a come up, like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna rock with her. Like, yeah, I can handle you, this and that. And I'm just like, in what way? Like, what are you talking about? Like, and they just looking for, not necessarily come up. Some are, but some are looking like, it's still like a come up, in some sort of way.
Yeah.
Um, and then you have some that's just like, man, I can't approach you the way I am. Like, I got to get me right first, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's actually the good way, because the men in my family, they taught like, if I'm not good, like I'm not pursuing a woman.
Yeah.
If I can't take her out to at least a dinner and a movie, like I have no business dating.
Exactly.
You have some men, oh, so what I'm supposed to do? Just be unhappy and single? What you mean unhappy? Like, work on yourself.
Yeah.
Like, they're so busy worried about like chicks and this and that. Like, child, like I done went like, a whole year, like twice, without any dealings with a man. And of course anything, like, just because I had to get me right.
Exactly.
And if I'm a woman and can think like that, why couldn't you as a man, like, what I mean, think
That's
like that? Like, I'm a woman and think like that. I was like, I gotta get me right. Like, I gotta, I have kids. I need to put them in the house right now. I
yeah.
need that, yeah. So I went like I said, cold turkey a couple times just to get me right. Like, and it works. Like, I was able to build my house at 29 ground up
Wow.
for my children. So my children don't even know what it's like to move into, just anywhere house. Like, all they know is a brand new house.
Wow.
That's, what I mean, the first one to step foot in here. So, and I gave them that, what I mean? I wanted to give them that. So, yeah. So what I tell a lot of men, like the things that I accomplished and that, like, they do get intimidated. Sometimes they, like I said, they do back off and are like, they don't, they want to be ready, hopefully I'm available, but they want to be ready when they approach me. They don't want to, and I respect that, more than somebody else that's just trying to wing it. Like, oh, you motivate me to do this and that. Okay. We're supposed to motivate each other no matter what. Um,
Exactly.
Even though I'm very successful, anybody I'm with, I still want you to motivate me because there's other things that I might be able to do, like,
That's
um, so, you're always motivating one another. But you have some men that just want you to like kind of build them up. And like I said, I don't mind. But I'm not about to, what I'm saying? Like, I'll build you up by encouraging, but I'm not about to do it for you. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, you put in that work, like so. Yeah.
That's the truth. I hear that. So, how do you think, in your opinion, that we can fix the black community or the community as a whole? You know, what are some things that you think we can do?
Well, like I mentioned earlier, change change the thought process. Like
That's right.
that's number one. Or just change your thought process. Like too much negativity. People are too negative. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't know why. Like, wake up. You know, you woke up. You're able to see, walk, and breathe. You're not 6 feet under.
Exactly.
Um, thank God. And like that's how you start your day. And just keep being positive. You know, and just think positive. You know, like I said, if you think positive, then you know you'll have positive outcomes. Not saying that you know trials and tribulations won't come. That's going to be no matter what. You know, that's what just make that comes about to make us stronger. You know, because
That's,
if we never went through nothing, then you know when things do happen, you know you're not going to be able to cope. You know,
exactly.
that's why you have some people that were born into money and given that silver spoon. When something go wrong, they want to jump over a bridge. You
Yeah.
know, because they can't cope. They don't know how to, you know. Whereas, like, you know, if I lost everything, you know, I'd probably be sad and depressed. But like my mentality, you know what? I'm getting back. I know how to get back. You know what
That's
I'm saying? And some people can't do that because they weren't taught to cope. You know, they weren't taught. So, like, yeah, we have to fix our mentality. That's number one. And then two, like, you know, just come together more. Like I said earlier, you know, the one guy that was like, oh, don't tell them nothing, let them learn on their own. Like, no, that's why we're so divided that we can't be fixed. Like,
exactly.
yes, help one another. Let's help and lean on one another.
That's
Like, could you imagine if like we got together all the time and uplift one another, not just when somebody gets killed or murdered?
yeah.
Like, could you imagine, like, outside of that, when we, you know, just get together and, you know, and do what we need to do? Like, this is what they fear. And then,
Exactly.
like, then they know, people know this. Stay woke. They fear us. Okay, what do you, like, all right, we know this. All right, what are we going to do with it? You
That's
know, let's capitalize off of this,
exactly.
you know? So it just, instead of just thinking, like I said, negative, change your thoughts to positive as much as you can. And if you think negative, I tell people like stop looking at the glass half empty and look at it half full. Like
That's
I
right.
said, even for this pandemic, like I told people I'm grateful for it, not for the actual virus and people dying.
Mm-hmm.
For me personally, I thank God because it gave me an opportunity to like kind of sit my ass down, take a break.
That's
Um, uh, you know, focus more on him a little bit, you know,
that's
um,
right.
rest my body, focus on my schooling a little bit more, and build up my business that I've been wanting to do. It also gave me more time, you know, with my kids. You know, we're not, you know, I'm not always ripping and running, and here everybody's like kind of at a standstill. So
Yeah.
you know, you learn more about your kids. Like, you know, I'm looking like at my son, like, yeah, when did you you know, grow this, or you know, like, you know, like you know, I'm seeing my daughter, I'm like, dang, you got tall, like, you know, just noticing different things, like, you know.
Yep.
So you know, I'm thankful for that. This is like a humbling experience too. So things that I probably took for granted subconsciously, you know, I probably won't, you know, of just being able to go outside and just, you know, without wearing a mask or just, you know, moving freely. Like, you know, we took those things for granted.
Yeah.
Uh, so it's a lot of positive that I found. And like I said, I don't look at the glass half empty. You know, I look at it as half full. So I try to find the good in everything. And so far, like I said, it's been good for me. It's been
Cool.
good for me. You know, like I'm blessed. And you know, that's that. So wait, I think I went off from the question. What was the question again? Let me get back.
You said it about fixing the community.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
So yeah, oh yeah. So back to the mentality. So we need to just like I said, start looking. Oh, that's what I'm saying. Start looking at the glass half empty. Stop looking at it as half empty and look at it as half full, and
Yep.
capitalize off of it. And like I said, just come together. Stop being complacent. Like put some fire under your feet. Figure out what motivates you, and figure out your drive, and then combine it. So
That's
like
right.
my drive is to like at the end of the day, like people always ask me, well, what do you want to do when you finish school? And I'm like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I know I want to work with people. There's so many things I want to do. Like, I want to, I want to have a group home. I want to do uh, therapy, marriage. I mean, couples counseling, family counseling. I want to have my own practice. I want to, kind of be an adjunct, and teach in school. There's so many things that I want to do that I just can't narrow it down. So when people ask me, I'm just like, I don't know, like, but like, because I just have such a broad, like, there's no limit, You
Yep.
know, I think I'm going to be like one of them teachers, when you step foot in your college classroom and the teacher's like, all right, we're going to go around and introduce ourselves. And she starts and she's like there for like 10 minutes. Well, I started off this and that. And in 5 minutes, she's telling you everything she did. I'm going to be one of them people like, hey, I did this and then I did that. And then from here, I went there. And then this motivated me to do that. And then this, so that's probably going to be my life. I'm going to do a little bit of everything. Like, um, just like I said, reach my fullest potential. Uh, and I don't know if you're familiar with the Maslow hierarchy, the pyramid.
Yep.
Like yeah, so that top part, the what is it? Self actualization.
Yep.
Yeah, they say most people don't even reach that. You know why? Because it's always more that we want. So like you can say like Jay-Z and Beyonce, even them aren't there because why? They're always seeking more.
Yep.
So like you're not set where you're at. Like they're in that bracket, but we're never, as humans, we're never going to be content.
Exactly.
Um, whether you make moves to do better or not, like in your mind, you're really not going to be content. You know what I mean? Like you want more and this and that. And like I said, some people are complacent and just be like, ah, F it. And then some people is like, okay, I'm gonna go for the reach of the stars.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so that's another you know, thing in our community. Just stop being complacent. Make moves. Um, like don't be afraid. Move in fear. Move in fear. Like you have to. Like be vulnerable to lose,
Exactly.
and then get back up.
That's
Uh,
the truth.
yeah, you just have to. Being vulnerable isn't bad. Like we all take risks every day. Like
We do.
we take a risk when we hop in the car and drive. You don't know if you're gonna make it back home. We take a risk just in everything, flying on a plane, or you don't know. So take that same risk with bettering yourself, your life.
That's
Why not? People might say, "Oh, I like I'm not going to school. I'm not doing this because it's gonna take me 3-4 years." And I'm like, okay, are you planning to die in 3-4 years? Like, because yeah, if you're planning to live another 20 years, then you're still gonna make it to those 3-4 years. So why not do this? Like, like so what if it takes you 3-4 years? In 3-4 years, you're gonna appreciate it as you go. Like unless you're planning to die, you want to hurry up and live your life for the next 3-4 years. Then yeah, okay, I understand. But if you're gonna be living for another 25 years, like these next 3 years, you know what I mean? You can make the best of your life, the rest of your life.
true.
So yeah, it's just like people just gotta change their mentality, their mindset, man. Like that is just number one. Once they change this, like the opportunities is endless.
Yep, it sure is.
It is like can't nobody stop you. Like
No,
oh.
can't.
Mhm.
Yep. Appreciate you, sister. Thanks for coming up and catching up with Coach. Thanks for all the info.
No problem. Anytime.
Yep.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Make sure you keep grinding.
Keep driving. Oh, grinding. I like keep driving. Okay. Most definitely.
Yep. Take care. Appreciate it.
All right. You're welcome.
All right, have a good one.